Hey everybody, Larry here, Boxcars Garage. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this project up with the addition of the appliance. It took forever to get this paint to dry, but she's ready to go right now. We're going to put this thing on, hopefully, and get to using it. So let's go. This is going to be kind of a quick look at what I ended up putting together here. This was all done with recycled materials, and the dimensions that the material was kind of dictated how I put it all together. I say that because this carrier, well, now it's a carrier. It was just a piece of rectangular tube, heavy wall tube that actually came from a boat trailer. It was galvanized. That was another problem, welding the mild steel to the galvanized. If I had it do over again, I probably would have done this with regular steel, but anyway, we got her done. This overly large roller here was another finding from the recycler. Used some stainless steel hardware and a lock nut to keep it in position. I've got a brass washer here at the bottom because it's going to roll on that, and I thought, yeah, I'll just, that's a good choice for that one, I believe, and the rest of it is just whatever I had. These brackets here that I'm now using as a carrier came from the recycler, and then I just boxed them in, bolted into position. That keeps it secured, and that's your adjustment points on both sides. Just because I used material laying around the shop, some things layout wise, wasn't optimum. This piece right here is 4 inches, but I've only got a 3-inch neck on the machine that it's going to mount to, so I had to come up with some bushings to fill up that space. So I've got to cut these down a little bit. These are 1/2 inch. As far as dimensions, I've got enough travel to take this roller right up to the average die set. Still have a couple of inches on the back side of the carriers. This in total, you're looking at like 23 and an 1/8. This is kind of awkward to handle right now. I'm going to set up the laser, and we're going to try to hold this into position with some straps. I'll use the laser to get things leveled up, and we will get this dude installed. 1.25 inches from this surface to the start of my shape on the bottom. 1.25 inches. I'm swinging this thing way out. Be able to just barely get 1.25 inches. Right there is it. Level this out. Yep. We're ready. We're ready to go. Scratching up my paint already. Oh well. Might have to move you here just a little bit. Let me get you where you can see it feed through. There we go. That's a good spot. Okay, I got my belt back on. Everything's ready to go, I believe. Got my piece. Got my layouts drawn on the back side, which it needs to be on the back side for how this is set up right here. We're going to be pushing that bead down to where it ends up on the side here, not shown. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start it right there. And we are going to keep this dude straight. My brakes are locked. Put some tension on it. Here we go. Yep. Looking good. Yeah. thinking about, I wonder if I should straighten it up a little bit. I think I am going to hit it on the shrinker before I go any further. That's what I think I'm going to do. I can keep this thing as flat as I can. Okay, so I got her straightened up on the shrinker just before we go too far ahead. I don't know if that's going to mean much to me in the end, but we will see. I think it will, because when it gets that distorted, there's parts of the profile getting mashed up and touched that shouldn't be touched. Keep on plugging away. We are. We'll go to the bench and we'll get this thing straightened up a little bit, and maybe we'll do something with these terminations here. So I've got a few things I'm gonna have to work out here. First of all, these terminations here has got this thing all puckered up and it's not letting it sit down. So rather than keep on shrinking here, I think the first thing I've got to do is let these ends know where they need to go. So I don't know if this is the right way or the wrong way, but this is going to be my way this time. I'm going to hold this thing down and I'm going to basically work this termination here by hand. And we'll see where we're at here in a minute. If I hadn't said already, I am happy with how that roller worked out. This has got a super nice contour. There's no wobble in it. This is kind of a first edition you're watching here, beyond the original template, the test piece that we did. This is game time. There we go. That's where I want you, right there. There we go. Okay, now we're going to work on, I made this last week. We're going to use this in wrapping this corner around. But I might be a little more gentle than I was last week. I think that could be important. Got a little aggressive, and I think this is kind of a finesse kind of operation here, maybe. See what we got. I've got to flip this upside down and work it from the back side. I got to get the shape back into it. You see it's kind of flat. Needs to be stretched out right through here and smoothed out. But all in all, I'm happy with that. You can see it's relatively flat right now. I didn't go ahead and put it on the shrinker like I just said I was going to. We'll tune up this edge as well. Let's go ahead and go after this ugly part right here. Okay, now we'll work this out by hand to smooth it out. Keep off the profile here. See what it looks like. Oh, we need some shrinker action. Right now we've got too much metal here. We got to go ahead and shrink it to pull it down. But here's how the shape is looking so far. I'll end up working this out and truing this up. And I don't know if this profile is supposed to be like that or not. I'll check that. But anyway, I think we're heading on the right path. Okay, this is where we're at right now. We're going to go ahead and check it against the car. I think I've got a little bit too much contour in it, but we'll see. I also believe that my my bead's a little flat right now. I think this bead needs to have some of this action right here. So anyway, we might have to get the planisher going on it, and we'll see. Okay, so now you're down in the weeds with me. Let's see where we're at on the panel. This is the first time I put it up against here, so we'll see. We'll see. It ain't scared me yet, so that's good. Trying to line my bead up here. Okay, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. Yeah. Not too bad. I can feel that I'm sitting in the notch of the existing bead pretty well. Yeah. And I've got good contact. I've got good contact down here. So my shape is right. As far as being where we're at right now on this panel. I need a flashlight that works. Here we go. It looks like I'm see here. Yeah, it's actually closer than what I thought it was going to be. It really sits pretty good. I need to work on a couple of things that I believe that as I cut, I'm not all that concerned about it right now, because as I go ahead and trim this up, I'll be able to have much more of a direct effect of this area. Right now it's a little bit harder because I'm having to work through and coax this area here that I know that I'm going to cut off. I've got to kind of coax it into the same where I want this all to be. So I think as I trim this up, I'm going to get closer to the actual panel. And as far as what I'm going to replace as far as metal goes, I'm probably only going to be up here. This is probably about as far as I'm going to go, and then I'm probably going to step back from this ledge about 1/4 of an inch, and then somehow I shoot up over here, and I'm going to take out this whole piece, and then mine will drop in to there. I've got to do these steps, and I've got to do this return that will start going underneath the car. It'll be flat when it's all done, but and I can tell my shape here is not right. You can see I dove it down like this, and this is just not right. I'm gonna have to change that up a little bit. And include this area up in here. I'll work that all by hand. I'm not going to put it back on the hammer. But I'll tune that up, and I'll make sure that this is right. But yeah, I think we can keep on going ahead with this panel. It is going in our direction, in the right direction. So yeah, it's a win, I think. I need some contour here. and I think I'm gonna have to form that in. It's not gonna just happen on its own now. I might be able to make it happen with my die set. If I was to, kind of thinking out loud, if I wanted to add some contour to that bead by using my set of dies, I think how I would do it would be relieve this edge right here, so I could tilt my panel up a little bit and basically scoop it as I'm doing the forming, and that will hammer in the shape to that bead. Right now it's flat because my die surfaces are flat. I was afraid that if I was to relieve this edge, I would turn this into it would have a tendency to then to stretch, and I don't want to really stretch. I just want to really find the happy medium between stretching and flat. So I think I need to go to the dies right here, and I need to relieve those up a little bit, and then make sure that when I'm running the panel through, I'm applying some arc to it as I go back and forth, kind of like a I don't know, I was gonna say a seesaw, but that's not quite right, but you know what I'm saying, kind of like going down in a valley and then backwards and forwards. That's what I need to do, but these dies have got to allow me to do that, and they don't allow me to do that when they're flat. So anyway, I don't need to adjust the bottom one can stay flat, but I think that top needs to be radiused on both edges, and then that would allow me to go back and forth with it, and we can get some shape in that dude. So that's what I'm gonna give my attention to when I come in from work. I'll tweak on those on that die set, and maybe even make start working on this form right here, getting it more shapely. I've got a straight edge here to look at what's going on. Let's just see how flat we are. Yeah, we're like dead flat right now. We are dead flat, and that's not good. If you look at this right here, yeah, it's not dead flat. It's definitely got contour in this bead right here. So anyway, good to know. My my fit up is good so far, and I think it'll be even better once I get some contour in that. It'll hug it correctly, and we'll just keep on working on this right here, and then when we feel like it's close, then we'll start messing with the rollovers that happen. Right here you can see a step, and then over here, of course, you go for broke and you lock it in by doing your jam steps, and those have got to be, you know, right on. But we're not quite ready to do that yet. We need to go ahead and get this in the right shape, because we can do all these edges with a tipping die arrangement against a panel that's already formed. That's no problem at all, and that's what we're gonna do. So here, let me turn you around here, and we will wrap this one up. I think we have accomplished enough to call this a video. Well, okay then. I do believe we took the long way around the barn to go from this template to the actual patch panel, but that project, that appliance that I made for that machine, I believe it's absolutely necessary to help with the consistency that you're looking for whenever you're punching in these beads. So anyway, we made it. This right here was kind of freehand, and it's not bad. I do believe that this is better. I think this panel is going to work out. We will get back on it. Told you what I'm going to do with the dies. Hopefully get this thing calicoed in by next weekend. That would be a good thing. And maybe even welded in. I don't know. We'll just see how we go. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up on a positive note. To my subscribers, thanks so much for sticking with me. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new to the channel and you like the vibe of the channel, consider coming back. Consider subscribing. I'd love to engage with you as far as the chat goes. If you got some comments, what do you think? What do you think about the modification to the machine? What do you think about relieving those edges of that top die to allow me to rock that panel back and forth? You think I'm going to be able to get shape in that body bead, or are we going to mess around and start stretching the panel, and is it going to be a complete disaster? I don't know yet. Yeah, I've got nothing else. Sun's going down, and I need to put a video together. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks for being here. Come back.
Yeah, I blew my chances. On the road, I was driving fast. I had to boost my senses before I ran out of gas.